All right, so we're back here once again. Episode 65 of Commanders in the Chat, man. We get to 100. We get to 100 real quick.
65. That's not Joe Jacoby, is it?
I think so. I think Joe Jacoby is 65. Yeah, Joe Jacoby, or I think it is Joe Jacoby. Let me look that up real quick. But
He was he was 66,
yeah,
which
so he up.
lines up perfect.
It's probably Bostic. Not the black
Okay.
one. The offensive line one, the one from the Hawks.
Black one. Oh man, not the black one.
That's racist. No, it's not. Hey, now I'm getting a little unhinged now. Let me just
We just started. Let's not get canceled in the first minute.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? And I keep saying, oh, let me see. Oh no, he was 53. Yeah. So that Jeff Boston. Yeah. It's like the Hangover. Like, which Doug you talking about? But yeah, we staying focused. So we're back here in the chat. What's going on, Rob?
I'm ready to get week 3 out of my mind. This is gonna be the last time I talk about it. We moved on after today. We'll have moved on to Philly.
Yep.
And go from there.
Yeah. So I guess, guess we have to address the elephant in the room. I know, obviously Sunday, the Commanders did lose by the final score of 37-3. Rob, just your thoughts on yet again a deja vu where we get smacked by the Bills. So what you got?
Yeah, it seems like every year we talk about this litmus test, and like this will show us where we're really at, because the last few years that we've played the Bengals, especially in week 3, we've had relatively weaker opponents. I think we played the Chargers one year. I don't remember who we played in week 2, but I think we were going into that game 1-1. And we always say this is a litmus test. This is going to show us what this team is really about, what this team really is. And if that's the case, it's about to be a long season for us, man, because the defense held their own. I know it doesn't look like it on the scoreboard, giving up 37 points. But when you're on the field as much and as long as our defense was, you're going to give up those points eventually. Offense could not do anything. Let me rephrase that. The offense could do. They had a few drives, but they would they get stalled out by penalties or back-to-back sacks. Sam Howell sacked 9 times. I mean, it was a rough game. When looking at the numbers don't make it any better. Tried watching the all 22 to look for a light, and the light at the end of the tunnel was when I was done watching it. It was a rough watch. It was a rough game. Did not like it, but again, throw it out. We're on to Philly.
Yeah, it's weird, Rob. I got an opposite perspective on this one. I'm relieved, honestly, because I think this is probably gonna be the worst that we play this year. And to me, the fact sometimes you just gotta get smacked in the mouth. We got smacked in the mouth. I'm just really curious how this team is gonna rebound this week. I mean, obviously, I think with this whole thing with the Sam Howell, and I told people he gonna have these type of games. Like everybody's like, he's gonna. I think one thing, this is gonna be a situation where he's gonna be humble, and I've always said he has a resolve about himself. This, he went from, everybody saying, oh, he's gonna be, he's gonna be, this franchise quarterback. He, all this and the third. He is our franchise quarterback, but he's gonna have moments like this. I think, credit to Buffalo with their defense. They dropped 4 deep and pretty much made Sam Howell throw into some coverages that he shouldn't have no business throwing into. I look at that from that standpoint. The defense, they in a sense kind of held their own, but the issue was the dam keep on breaking. I mean, obviously, when you have 5 turnovers, what can you really expect from a defense at a certain point? I mean, you think about it, in this going into the fourth quarter, it was only a 2-possession game.
Mhm.
It's down
Yeah.
16-0, and then all of a sudden the dam broke, and then they end up scoring 21 points in the final quarter. I'm like you said, this is a game that you just throw away, and it's something we talked. Even like I think we went to Orchard Park 2 years ago, and literally the same thing. Hey, let's just throw this away and go forward. And I think that's what I look at just from that standpoint of, hey, we got our ass kicked. We got kicked in the teeth, blood in our mouth. Are we gonna be like a
just like
shark?
Mike
Yeah.
Tyson always said, everybody got a plan until you get punched in the face. We got punched in the face, and
Yep.
we didn't have a plan after that.
Yeah. And that's gonna happen. And that's like, to me, you think to yourself, it's one of the things where, Sam Howell getting sacked 9 times is definitely was horrible. Him throwing the 4 interceptions, especially in opportune times. And it's the sad thing about the offense is we were moving the ball. Like it's the most weirdest. Like, and it's like, that's why, like, with us, when we watch the game, we see it in a different light, because yes, they had opportunities, but those turnovers kept on killing them. Then we had these unopportune, third down plays, couldn't convert. Now, once again, stuff that we have ingrained and said ad nauseum week in and week out, is still rearing its ugly head with this team. And it's just, I mean, it's crazy. It is extremely crazy how this situation is going. But it is all right now. We'll get to Kenneth comment momentarily. Let us kind of soak in this loss and get ourselves together so we can get focused get to the main event as far as getting ready for this Eagles game this week. But it's terrible. Any other thoughts, Rob, on Sunday?
Just looking at the numbers, some things that stood out to me. Jack Del Rio doing his best Jack Del Rio impersonation. Bills are 9 of 15 on third down, 60%. So that's what we come to expect from this third down defense. Passing yards was interesting. So Sam Howell finished with 125 passing yards, which is abysmal if you ask anybody. But 9 of his passes went for negative yards. He threw a total of 9 passes, went for negative yards for 45 yards. So if you take those out, he's sitting at 170. Still not good. Offensive line was horrendous. Wiley, I'm not sure what Ron Rivera saw in him and the reason to sign him, because he hasn't played great. I went back and watched the All-22. He didn't play as bad as I thought he did, but he still wasn't great. I think he was 5th best on offense for us as far as PFF grade. But again, when you have a quarterback throw 4 interceptions, Antonio Gibson doing what Antonio Gibson does and fumbling the ball in key situations, you can't really expect to do much in the game. But just the numbers still show exactly what the game looked like, and it was rough.
I think, and Wiley's, I think, is a Kansas City guy, so that's probably one of the reasons why he be enemy. That's probably the enemy call on that one, as far as bringing in Wiley. And it's weird, man. Like you said, it's I mean, it's kind of one of those things. To me, it's so early in the season that it's like, I look at it like this: hey, once this team get on the roll, I think it's gonna be on. I think if everything, like we always say, and it's crazy. We say this every year. When are we gonna have our all 3 phases game?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you're looking at, and I know it's early because now we'll be it'll be October essentially, when we play the Eagles and we're ushering in the month of October. But when is that? When are we going to have that? When are we going to have that opportunity to have all three phases type of game? And that's going to be the question for this football team, and it's definitely going to be an interesting stretch. Now, now we have a coming in and going on the road and facing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
So,
which is no tall task, or no, yeah, which is no short task, tall task. It's not going to be easy. Eagles are the Eagles, even given the way they've looked coming off of this Super Bowl loss. They're still 3-0. They're still winning ball games. Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, and that's one thing too, where, and this is where you really want to see the resolve of this team, and this is where the whole getting your teeth kicked in this week, how you going to respond? And I think that's going to be kind of one of the biggest things that I really want to see from this team. You want to see that effort, and I think, to me, and I've been on a few shows as far as previewing this matchup. My biggest theme this week is preventing the dam from breaking. Because, and we'll talk about this as the preview progresses, because I think that's going to be kind of one of the keys. So, hey, you cannot allow this team to almost have a situation like with Buffalo last week, where you got them in a good spot, but then the defense bends, and then this type of stuff happens when obviously with a turnover situation. It's funny how it was the inverse of kind of how we thought was going to happen, because we figured maybe this could be a Josh Allen game in the sense where he was going to essentially turn the ball over, more than Sam Howell. And it was really the total opposite, where, if, the roles reversed and we had Josh Allen had 4 interceptions, then this game would be totally different as well. So that's where I think the shock of last week was that. And I think even the 4 turnovers, even though, like I said, Sam's going to have days like that, but I think having the 4 interceptions was kind of like, wow, like, very, it could, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, something's going, this ain't, it's a little different. I know even in the Carolina days, I think I may have seen it maybe three or 4 interceptions once upon a time, but he still had some drives in the midst of that where he scored. So
yeah,
this one's a little bit different. Yeah, for sure. But good thing about it all, it's a week by week basis, and we just continue to move on. And
the good thing is Dallas also lost, so we're sitting at tied for a second, 2-1 with them, and then obviously you have Philly, who is sitting up at top 3-1, which I think is a perfect segue into talking about what we have coming up next week in the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday at 1 Eastern.
Yeah, and this is where, like you said, Dallas, with that Dallas loss, it definitely helps from a standings perspective, because obviously they, as far as they have us as far as overall record, because of the simple fact of, hey, they've already got a NFC East win. So that's one thing there. So we're gonna bring in our guy Martin from Livewire Sports. I'm bringing him in first to kind of talk about last week's game, and then we'll have our Eagles guests as well coming in. So we'll bring Martin in the fray. All right.
Hey,
what's going on, Martin?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Couch? Sorry, I was a little late.
It's all good. It's all good.
I had to help my daughter with her schoolwork, so I had to,
it's all good.
That comes before everything.
For sure.
She gonna join us on live. Dodgers playing.
Oh no, she's talking Commanders.
No, she like college. She's a Clemson fan.
Oh,
yeah.
No comment.
I know, right? I don't want her to beat me up. Talk about Clemson. So, but I read some pretty good stuff about that game and everything. We talked a little bit. Well, we touched on it last night. From my perspective, of the game last week. I think we started off slow. We wasn't even in rhythm, and then when we finally got a rhythm, it was a little too late because the defense tried to held up, but our offensive line is bad, and they need to move either Wiley inside guard and put Cosby or somebody out there, or to hold up a little bit better, or use John Bates as an extra blocker, especially now that Logan Thomas is supposed to be ready to play this weekend. So from that standpoint, I think Sam Howell, he realized that he can't play that same way. The last time he played that way was in college, and he turned around and had a great performance. I still think we could beat the Eagles. I think their stat line is that the Eagles they only averaging 25 points a game. So they're not really throwing up big scoring output. Before we took that loss to Buffalo, we was averaging around about 30-something points a game with that, you know what I'm saying? So to me, I just think that we got to come out fast. We got to use our playmakers. The receivers got to help out Sam Howell. They also got to they have to get separation, and something that they didn't do in the Buffalo game. They didn't get separation to help him out.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in the as far as the preview section of it. So because we just was talking about more so of just Saturday's game, Sunday's game, the one that just passed. So we'll get that momentarily. So while we did that, I'm definitely, before we bring Cool in, definitely want to shout out to our guy Ken, Competitive Hedge Podcast. Man, who was that guy that said Commanders had no choice last week? Also, Jordan Love more than Jordan. No one loves you, but yeah, shout out to Kenneth, man.
We should have a strict rule. You can only comment if your team beat the Cardinals.
Right.
Or Josh Dobbs, yeah, hey, everybody loves Josh Dobbs now, Thanks, Josh Dobbs, for that one. So it's only right that we bring in our guy, Cool McCain, representing the Philadelphia Eagles. So we're gonna bring him now in the frame. All right, what's going on, Cool?
Gentlemen, what it do?
What's going on, Cool?
Oh,
all right.
Chilling,
So,
fellas. Chilling.
Yes, sir. So obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles, at this point, essentially undefeated for the second consecutive year. So just your thoughts on this season thus far.
Well, this season's been trying at best, right? I mean, we haven't played up to expectations. We've had some difficult games. Started to look better here in week 3, but it's been a progression. Week 1 was really bad. Week 2, Vikings, prime time. We got a victory. This week, we got back a lot of injured guys. Started to look more like the team that, us as fans expected, and I'm sure most people expected to see. But what should concern the rest of the NFL, especially anybody on our schedule, is that we're still 3-0 and we have a lot of work to do.
Okay. All right. So obviously in this Commanders versus Eagles matchup, and it's very, of course, we are divisional rivals. This is going to be our 177th meeting. Us as the Washington Commanders, me, Robin, and Martin. We got you guys up 89 wins, 82 losses, and 5 ties. So as we're going to the link, we got to go around the horn, fellas. What are your favorite Washington Commanders at the link moments? Cool. What any memories of Commanders at Eagles? What you got?
So I have a memory that you guys are gonna like. It was last year. It was in the link. Close game. Both teams had a lot of bad plays, a lot of dumb turnovers. Foolish things happen. Jalen Hurts throws the ball to Quez Watkins. Quez Watkins catches the ball, stumbles a few steps, falls down in field goal range, opportunity for the Eagles to get some points, right? Maybe, maybe a touchdown, but at least in field goal range. And he gets up, starts to run, ball gets poked out, fumble, y'all get the ball back. The rest is history. And the reason I would like to bring up that specific memory is one, Jalen Alexander Hurts, one, AJ Brown, one, Devontae Smith, and basically most of the people on the offense were there for that moment last year, right? And it's a little extra they're going to have this week, I believe, because we remember that. Undefeated streak broke, by our division rival, a team that taught us a lot, actually. And the other reason I brought the moment up is I think if we win that game in the next couple of games, we may not make the Super Bowl. We needed somebody to remind us, hey, if you go out there and you have a piss poor performance, you can be beat. And y'all did that for us.
Happy to help.
And you're welcome. You're welcome, sir. Anytime.
Hey, I'll take 0-2 and win the Super Bowl every year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, Martin, what's your favorite Commanders at Eagles memories? What you got?
Oh, favorite Commanders at Eagles memories. I'll take last year because after the first meeting, when we got blitzed by the Eagles, the first game when we had Carson Wentz, and for all sense of purpose, we had to put old reliable Taylor Heineke in, and Taylor Heineke, he did some things that kind of like kept the Eagles off balance. We ran the ball, we killed the time, we controlled the clock, we took advantage of the turnovers, not let the Eagles get in the flow of things. And when Taylor Heineke gets excited, he got that first down. His arm was so long, so he's pointing first down. So, and that just reminds that game last year reminds me when we played Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was undefeated, and we bust their streak. So you could call us the streak busters. So even though the Eagles only 3-0, but hey, we like to get them 3-1. So, and I think in this game also, it kind of has that resemblance of last year a little bit. I think for those sense of purposes, I think we're going to see a lot from last year, but I think it is going to remind me so much of last year and with the same result, us winning, So last year was really sweet, because every team that the Eagles played last year had a chance to beat them. And they kept setting up the blueprint to how to beat them. But we went in and execute that to the fullest. And granted, we didn't even have Chase Young last year. No Chase Young. And we still managed to beat the Eagles. And we went on a 4 or 5 game winning streak from that point. So, hey, that's my memory for last year.
All right. Yeah. What you got, Rob?
I'm gonna touch on one play from that game last year and then move on to the another game entirely. Taylor Heineke, it was in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. We're just trying to kill clock. Taylor Heineke takes that knee. Brandon Graham comes from about 37 feet away after Heineke takes the knee and hits him. You get the flag. That's when you knew it was over. So you see Taylor Heineke get up and signal the first down. That one, when finally you could breathe.
Talking about the flop job?
No, I'm talking about the late hit. I'm talking about the late hit.
LeBron James.
I'm talking about the late hit.
I'm talking
about the late hit.
He slipped, kind of fell on him a little bit. Is that when you're talking about the flop job?
I'm talking about. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
All right.
I think I know what you talk about when he took that knee and he came around the corner and kind of like hit him.
Yeah, so if you see at where Brandon Graham was at the line of scrimmage.
You need me to add that to it, Rob?
Can you? My computer.
I
okay.
think.
My
Let
computer
me.
kind of froze.
Okay, let me see. I think I added it. Oh, there we go. Rob got receipts. Cool.
Oh, I spent 2 weeks arguing with people about this on Twitter. So we're gonna see. That's where he took the knee. Look where Brandon Graham is at. That's a late hit if I've ever seen one.
I mean, I was in the play though. We need the camera roll.
Okay. Boom, and then gets hit right there.
Oh, come on.
A late hit is a late hit.
That dude was on his knees trying to pull back. That's
a late hit is a late
hit. But you know what, man? You know what, man? I'm gonna say this. I can't hold this any longer. So Martin has said the same thing that all these Commanders fans were running around saying last year. Let me ask y'all a serious question. What game leading up to this told you make sure Quez Watkins makes stupid plays all game? Because that's the only reason the Commanders really won that game. Let's be real. This plays hot garbage. You know, I know you're going to see it the way you're going to see it because you're a Commanders fan and you're happy the way it turned out. But let's be real. This guy's running. He's even stopped on his knees, trying not to make sure that he doesn't make any contact. He bumps him. Taylor Heineke does the best flop job, LeBron James style. Give him props for it because he got what he wanted out of it. Give him props because even at this point, after our poor play, we still had a chance if this play doesn't happen. So all the blueprints that y'all had, it came down to a flop job, LeFlop James style for Taylor Heineke to make sure you got the win. So, hey, congratulations on your win, but let's not try to act like that this wasn't a flop job. That's all I'm saying. It's over now. It's not going to change the play. So you could be honest about it now. It was a flop job. It worked. It was great, but it was a flop job.
All right, so let's be honest about it. Had Brandon Graham, because Brandon Graham took 3 whole steps before he got to Taylor Heineke. Had he just moved to the right and not hit him, we wouldn't need a flop job. You can't flop if you don't get hit. I guess that's pure LeBron.
Okay, but
at the end of the day, all I'm saying is he got hit. He got yards.
Touched. He got touched.
He's still a quarterback.
He got contacted. He didn't get hit. He got touched.
After he was,
but you still can't. But you know they're gonna throw the flag regardless.
But I'm saying you also have to allow a defensive player the opportunity to pull. If you see a guy coming full speed and he hits him while he's down like that, drops the shoulder, hit him, yeah, that should be a penalty. Off gate every time. But when you see a guy attempting to pull up and the momentum he has leads him into a guy at times, you don't have to call it. It is what it is. I mean, it took all that plus Quez Watkins and his stupidity for y'all to get the dub. So you got your dub, but don't try to act like that wasn't a flop job.
I don't think you call Quez Watkins play stupidity. I mean, anybody who in that position, they're going to get up.
No, they're not. They're not. Any receiver that has half a brain is going to lay down, get contacted so we can get up and run another play. Only some guy who shouldn't be catching the ball, thankfully he's out right now, makes that play. Have you ever had a receiver get up and get the ball knocked out on a stupid play like that in the history of the Commanders or the Redskins? No, because you have receivers that at least understand once you're down, just stay down.
So my best memory of this franchise.
You want me to take this play off, Rob?
Yeah. You can take, actually, let me go ahead and. Oh, never mind. I was gonna play it. I was gonna show the kneel down, but it's okay. I'm gonna add insult to injury.
Insult to injury. How you injury? You won the game. We was in the Super Bowl, and thanks to y'all, we're the first division that didn't get 4 teams in. They had an opportunity because y'all couldn't hold up your end of the bargain.
You're right.
But y'all lost.
Absolutely right.
But you didn't have a chance to lose.
Both teams won the same. But both teams won the same amount of Super Bowl rings last year.
One team won more games than the playoff. One team made the playoffs, and as a matter of fact, 3 teams out of the division made the playoffs, and one sucky team didn't. And who's that sucky team that didn't?
Hold on.
You didn't even make the playoffs. You want to talk about that? You didn't.
Let's go.
And your coach didn't even have sense enough to know that. All we got to do is win the game, and we can make the playoffs.
Right. You're right.
I said
that's a fact.
What I said last year, I blame Ron Rivera because we had the Giants beat. The second time we had the Giants beat, They didn't even call a pass interference when we was at the goal line. They called 2 bad calls, the pass interference and the illegal motion on Terry, which we could have easily won that game. But they clearly that was pass interference. Then the third one was Ron Rivera didn't know because he should have put Taylor Heineke back in when we played the Cleveland Browns against the Cleveland Browns that game when Deshaun Watson just came back, rusty as heck. You know what I'm saying? So I don't make no excuses for what we should have done. You know what I'm saying? I'll take all our wins. We won the games. We was the first to beat y'all undefeated. Like I said
first at
before,
home for the division.
like I said before, that the Eagles was the last few games the Eagles played, but leading up to us, the Colts should have beat them. Houston should have beat them. They all played the blueprint because matter of fact, the Eagles could not stop the run. And then when we ran the ball on them and controlled the clock, that's when the Eagles went out and started getting backup defensive linemen, so nobody could run the ball on them. So thanks to us, it made y'all better.
Jordan Davis was hurt.
So thanks to us, after we beat y'all, it made y'all better because y'all had to go out and add more depth to your defensive line.
We just got to do that either way because again, Jordan Davis was hurt. Jordan Davis is there this year. We try running this year.
We'll run on y'all. We can still run on y'all.
Well, hold on. I don't know because Brian Robinson averaged 7 yards a carry on Sunday against the Bills. Only carried it 10 times. So I don't know. If we will run on them this year.
So any more memories, Rob, before we get into
2015, winning the division on Sunday Night Football against Philly. I think it was in Philly. Clinching the division, that's probably one of my all-time. Even despite Kirk Cousins spiking it to end the half because Pierre Garçon didn't want to run a fade. And so he didn't know what else to do, so he just spiked it. I thought that was going to be the reason we lost that game. But we didn't. Went on to win the division at the end of that game.
It's a good win for y'all in Philly.
I know. Like, I'm loving this. I'm loving this cool energy today. This Philadelphia Eagles energy is lit.
Oh, so, you can tell Sunday's coming. You can tell Sunday's coming, boy.
Right?
Yeah. There you go. Like I'm going to be like, look, Uncle Travi won. Now he want to get crunk on me. Let's go. But yeah. So one of my favorite moments, obviously, I think you look at last year. Obviously, I think to me that was like a giant killer type of victory for us. My favorite's got to be 2020. I mean, the January 3rd, 2021. When we won NFC East, even though I know, cool, we were 79, but it's all good.
Hey,
you was better than the rest of us.
Yeah, but the beauty thing about it is, shout out to Doug Peterson. I'm gonna give Doug a Christmas card every year, and that damn Nate Sudfeld because y'all was a jackass. But when we released him in 2017, like typical Eagle jackass fashion. You get Nate Sudfeld, our third string quarterback, and then 3 years later, we get to play him in the fourth quarter because he benched Jalen Hurts. So, thank you, Doug, and thank you, Nate. I got a T-shirt and a hat.
You should think Howie Roseman too. That's fair.
Yes. So I got a T-shirt and a hat. Thanks for the memories. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Nate. So,
hey, I mean, they're not all good memories, man. Not all good memories.
Hey. For sure, on both ends. So, all right, wait. So we here. All right. Game. So, for sure. So, we'll go around the horn first. We gotta go with Cool first. What is your storylines and also your matchups to watch in this game?
So my storyline is going to be play calling. I saw it look a lot better this past week, but it's been a work in progress. New OC's first time being an offensive coordinator and a play caller, so obviously, you're gonna have some kinks to work out. Also, the donut hole in the middle of our defense is also a storyline to watch. Can it hold up? It looked better with Blankenship there. And then for matchups to watch, the first one would have to be whatever receiver you have that's being guarded by Josh Jobe, because he's going to have a big game. So if you figure out where Josh Jobe is, if he's on the field, and you throw to that receiver, whoever that is, 100+ yard game. That's all you got to do, because he can't hold anyone. He can't hold anyone. And I don't know why he was playing outside corner this past week. Is he even active this week? Should be a storyline. It won't be, but it should be. The matchup to watch is going to be our defensive line versus your offensive line in the pass rush and the run stopping, because I think that it's a lot better this year. You know, Jalen Carter is a beast. There is no way in the world that 9 teams should let that man get to us. There's no way in the world. And Nolan Smith is also out there hitting hard. So him coming off the edge is going to be big. And a little scoop for you guys. Today, Hassan Reddick got the cast off his hand. So now Hassan Reddick has 2 usable hands. So that thumb should be in good enough shape where he gets the protective cast off of it. So now he can grab, he can move, he can do his different things that he wasn't able to do before. So he should be a little bit more of a factor in this game. But it's that rush. It's that defensive line versus the offensive line. That's the matchup to watch. I mean, you can talk about 20 other matchups, but that's the one that's going to help determine the game for both teams.
Newsflash too. It just came across my TV. I took a sledgehammer to Rashawn Reddick thumb, so he's back in the cast.
But if you put him back in the cast, then that means we're gonna put Nolan Smith out there, and he runs a 4.6 40. So I don't know if you really want to do that. And he about decapitated Baker Mayfield by accident.
That's poor Baker. He ain't had no chance.
That was tough on Baker.
Yeah. So Martin, what's your storyline and matchups to watch in this?
Like who said, it's so many, man. After we was on last night talking a little bit, and I did some little, listened to some press conference between Eric Bieniemy and Jack Del Rio. The matchup is going to have to be the offensive line versus their defensive line. I think everything else is going to wear out itself because, like Cool say, whatever side that cornerback on, you can put Terry on that side. Let Terry, Cook.
Don't listen to Martin. Do not listen to Martin because he don't know what he's talking about.
So, but Terry has had good games against the Eagles, so therefore, what I'm saying. So I'm expecting him to do what he does best. But can the Commanders learn from the Buffalo game to protect? Because I said this constantly. Ever since that Carson Wentz game last year when we got sacked 7 times, there could have been 10 sacks in that game. Literally. And I was so mad at Charles Leno. I really wanted to reach through the TV and snatch him up if I had the strength. So can they go back, do mass protection, move somebody around, move some guys around on the offensive line to where they could protect Sam Howell a little bit better? I mean, 19 sacks in 3 games, that's a lot. Whether if it's on him, on the offensive line, play calling, whatever the case may be. I want to see, because you got to think, when we had Taylor Heineke, not saying he's better than Sam Howell, but he was more effective, and we had Scott Turner. Can Eric Bieniemy be patient enough with the run? Try to run to neutralize a little bit behind the offensive line. Can the offensive line hold up when it comes to the passing game against the Eagles? Because trust me, the Eagles looked at what the Bills did. They're going to try to come after Howell. They're going to try to be disruptive. They're going to make it hard. And if we could stay with the run enough and not fall in love with passing. Now, granted, the Eagles have gave up some passing yards. But the question is our offensive line. How well we going to hold up? And that's my storyline for the whole thing. If I'll know the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game. Depends on who has the ball. I'm gonna know from right then and there, because that's going to determine how the game is going to be played out all the way through.
Yep. What you got, Rob?
I mean, I don't have much else to add. It's clearly defensive line versus offensive line, Philly versus Washington. Because again, like we talked about in the game last week against Buffalo, the offensive line was atrocious. Sam Howell, whether you want to put some of the blame on Sam Howell, I think his biggest flaw is he tries to leave the pocket too early. But again, that's because his internal clock is messed up because of that offensive line. I think the best matchup to watch, the biggest matchup to watch, is going to be Sam Howell against the offensive line. And yes, I said that right. Sam Howell against his own offense. Again, he needs to do something.
I like that.
Because this offensive line is horrendous. I don't think Wiley would do well on the inside. No, it's not so much that Wiley wouldn't do well on the inside. Martin, I know you alluded to it. I don't think Cosme knows how to play tackle. I don't think he has ever played tackle. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has. I think that would be even worse. Cosme has been the best offensive lineman we've had. Charles Leno has been dog shit this weekend or this season. Wiley has been straight trash. He lets players run right by him. But again, how versus that offensive line, how Eric Bieniemy is going to game plan to help Hal get open. If he has to move the pocket a little bit for him, just do something. Because if you can't figure out the offensive line, it's almost no point in even playing this game, because that Eagles defensive line is going to feast, and they might be upwards of 9-10 sacks in the game.
Mm-hmm. Somebody might be getting fired on Monday morning.
They fired a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, if Denver's defensive coordinator did not get fired after allowing a 70 burger, no defensive coordinator should get fired anytime this season, period. It should be a written rule.
That's fair.
Right. That's extremely fair. I look at obviously the storyline is rebuilding from a loss. Sam Howell now, as far as having a bad game, can he rebuild off of last week's performance? And like you said, it's gonna be a battle of the trenches where you look at it there as well. And then I think, like you said, I think it's gonna be Sam Howell versus the D line, and how you guys are gonna play us. Like I think we talked about it earlier in the recap of the game, where essentially you seen Buffalo do a lot, like dropping 4 and essentially allowing like Sam Howell to beat them and him making bad decisions. And you're just really curious if how Philly would do. Will they play in that same type of area, especially if you can drop 4 and y'all are deep at that when you drop 4. So it's kind of one of those where it's like it could pose as a problem where I think I forgot, was it Sam Donald, one of those, like where he could still see ghosts. It could be that. Yeah, Sam Donald. Yeah, Sam Donald.
I've been seeing ghosts for years.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think he can have that type of where you look at Buffalo had great coverage on him last week and kind of essentially forced him to make plays that weren't there. And I think he's hoping that Sam Howell doesn't make those type of mistakes again this week. So, but obviously I think the matchup too, I think you kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, Rob. B-Rob, and I think we talked about him last week as well. What can he do? In essentially, I think he'll be the one to help essentially keep our offense on the field and pretty much kind of neutralize some stuff. So I definitely get Brian Robinson as kind of the matchup, the matchup to watch against you guys' defensive line. So, so cool. You'll have the floor on this. Yeah,
real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Who Benjamin St. Jude's going to guard?
Well, last year he guarded AJ Brown. He did a good job on it.
I'm just wondering
because big play.
The reason I'm wondering is because I'm trying to figure out which one of my wide receivers is going to have a good game. One of my buddies wants me to do a parlay, so it sounds like I need to be putting my money on Devontae Smith for a touchdown. That's what I was asking.
Good luck with that.
I do have one thing to add. I hope we do not allow Antonio Gibson to run the ball, because I'm telling you,
we should not let Antonio Gibson put on another Commander's jersey.
Exactly. I mean, what? he been with us 3 years. The first year he fumbled so bad, Ron Rivera had benched him, and then he corrected it last year. You almost cost us. The game with Buffalo was pretty much out of hand when you fumble. You almost cost us the Arizona game. There is no way in God's green earth that this Antonio Gibson. So people say, "Oh, don't cut him." Well, guess what? If we have a chance to trade, which is a rumor that we can make a trade to get Jonathan Taylor, I'm all for it. Move let Brian Robinson, because he wants to, be more utilized in the pass catching, and let Jonathan Taylor be the bell cow. I'm all for it. But we got to get the offensive line before we even think about getting another running back there. So, but I don't want to see.
Our offensive line hasn't been terrible in run protection.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't been.
But I think that might actually be a solid. I'm looking up to see what Jonathan Taylor's contract is.
Well,
obviously, I don't think it's much.
They say that, for what I have heard, they say that we have the cap space for next year to pay him, like a 2 or 3 year contract, and then probably like 16 million, something like that. So, I mean, because we got free agents all across the board, Montez, which I think Montez is going to be.
If y'all do get Jonathan Taylor, do not pay him $16 million, okay?
Absolutely not.
Pay him like 9-10 million.
Yeah, let him earn it.
Give Saquon money.
As a Eagles fan, I'm asking you. I know we were talking trash earlier, but we all in the same division, so let's put that aside. Don't pay this man over $10 million because we want to try to keep Swift. So don't pay this man over $10 million. Thank you.
For selfish reasons, huh?
In that case, pay him. But all jokes aside, because I really don't think Chase is going to be with us at the end of the season. I think Montez is going to get that bag. You know what I'm saying? I think we're going to find a way to keep Cam Curl. We're going to probably find a way to trade him, tag Trace, or find a trade partner for him. I think because I don't see us keeping all of them. At one point in time, there was a scenario I thought we could have kept all of them, but Chase has kind of like soured me a little bit because him being hurt, the timeline, and everything like that. Now, if he has a great game Sunday, you know what I'm saying? That's just going to help his stock. He needs sacks. He needs to get within the next 4 or 5 games, he needs to at least have about close to 5, 6, 7 sacks. He can't go half of the season with just 2 or 3, 4 sacks.
Hey, if y'all want Derek Barnett, just hit his agent up, man. Y'all can have Derek Barnett.
That'll be good.
He said, "No, we good."
So cool. So cool. What are the keys to an Eagles win on Sunday?
Controlling the offense and defensive lines, taking offensively what we're given, not turning the ball over, and running the ball are the keys. Defensively, ensuring that we bait Sam Howell, give him different looks, show him blitz, don't blitz, show him man, do zone, show him zone, do man. Variations. This week we did some of where we had one corner play man, one corner play zone, different things like that. Confuse him, make him think a read is there when it's not actually there. Try to bait him, try to follow, the Bills' game plan as well, because if something works for another team and you feel like you have the personnel to execute it, you want to do that. So those are the things that, Philadelphia needs to do to win. And dominance in the passing game. We need to ensure that we make the most of the opportunities. I feel like we're kind of transitioning back to a running first team, but we still get big points in big chunks with plays through the air as well. So managing that by making sure we make the right plays at the right time, but only take what's there. Don't try to force it.
Right. All right. So Martin, what are the keys to a Commanders win? I'm gonna get you going first.
I said this last night on Cool Show. I think both teams are going to run the ball. They're going to try to run the ball to control the clock. Who does it effectively? But I think the Commanders they're going to have to play balanced football. like I said, the offensive line is going to be the key. They're going to have to play balanced football. They're going to have to protect Sam Howell. They're going to have to pick and choose when to pass. The receivers got to separate. I think this is a perfect game for Terry to get off. Help Jahan Dotson. We haven't seen Jahan. He had that kind of game like he was last year. Curtis Samuels, he's going to have a game. De'Ami Brown will have a game. Logan Thomas is supposed to be coming back. That's going to help. You're going to have to utilize your weapons against Philadelphia. I mean, for us to beat this team last year with nothing, no kind of weaponry, and we got a slew of skilled guys on our team, come on. I mean, this team should be, revving up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get it. Sam Howell is new back there and everything like that, but we're going to have to play balanced. We're going to have to play smart. We're going to have to protect Sam Howell. The offensive line going to have to do their job. They're going to have to play like they're playing for a contract or something, because I can't see Sam Howell getting sacked another 9 times in one game. It's not going to be pretty. You know what I'm saying? And for some of my Commanders, guys I talked to, and saying that Josh Harris, he's not going to show too much patience, you know what I'm saying, down the line. He's allowing them to do that, but at the same time, this man wants to win. He's a winner, and he's evaluating every game. So each game is going to be crucial how we handle it. How we handled that loss last week is going to show how we take the step forward into the Eagles game. So just all the points that I said, balance, offensive line, that's how we'll win the game. No turnovers either.
For sure. Rob, what you got?
Oh, we got to avoid any down and 1 yard to go, because that tush push isn't going anywhere. That's here to stay for a while in the league, and nobody can stop it. And I'm not on the boat, or I'm not in the camp of it needs to be banned. I think defensive coordinators need to figure out how to stop it. As of now, nobody can stop it when the Eagles do it.
Agree.
Keep them out of down and 1 yard to go. Really just moving the pocket, keeping Sam Howell as comfortable as possible. Because without that, if you can't do that, eventually at some point the game's going to start to get away from you, and you're going to have to start passing a lot, just like we had to in the Buffalo game. Keeping Sam Howell comfortable, but also it could start with utilizing the run game first. Again, Brian Robinson was averaging 7 yards a touch, but only touched it 10 times.
Yeah.
That's unfathomable for somebody to average 10 yards or 7 yards a carry, carrying it 20, 25, 30 times a game. But you can still be north of 4 yards on each carry, and it's still really good. Utilizing the run game is going to be key, especially to keep Howell a little bit more comfortable, because we can't have Sam Howell take the hits that he did last week. Right now, he's on pace to get sacked like 110 times. Something crazy. Like the record right now is David Carr with like 62, I think, or 67, something like that. So like he's on pace to be sacked over 100 times. It's ridiculous. And he won't get sacked 100 times because he will not survive the season getting sacked 9 times a game.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. I think one of the keys is going to be limited time of possession. I think that's one thing I think Washington has to control the time of possession. Prevent the down from breaking, like I said. And that's also one of the keys as far as limiting the time possession. Establishing the running game. I think that's where I think Washington, like you said, to kind of echo your point, Rob and Martin, where you have to give that opportunity where we can establish a run. They give Sam an opportunity to kind of elude out the pocket and get himself an opportunity. And hopefully, and it can, by the time, give us opportunities for screen plays, this, that, and third, to kind of get guys like Curtis, like you talked about on Eagles Elite last night. It could be like a Curtis Samuel type of game where he can have a type of situation where he can get some plays out of the backfield, do his thing there as well. So, and then like you said, the touch push, you just got to contain it. Just make sure that don't get him in that, like you said, short distance, because they'll kill you with that. And hey, it is what it is. It's a part of the game. You just got to learn how to stop it, and until some crafty defensive coordinator creates a scheme to stop that, it's going to be here for a while. So those are my keys to a Commanders win. So, fellas, we'll go around the horn for our game prediction. Who you got? What you got cool in this game?
Well, I have the Eagles putting up 31 points, and I have the Commanders with 17 points.
Okay. What you got, Martin?
Well, after doing some little research and listening to some stuff, I know my initial. I'll get my prediction from last night, so it's not going to change much. The Eagles haven't put up over 30 points in 3 games, so they've been averaging like 25. The Commanders was able to put up points the first 2 games, not so much, because you're playing a team that's, kind of like top tier, had that Super Bowl admiration. Can the Washington Commanders put up points? Yeah, they can. But the little things they're going to have to do. I think this game is not going to get out of hand that most people think it is. I think this game is going to be close. I think my prediction last night was 24-20. I think it's going to be probably close. I'll say a 3-point win for the Commanders, 24-21.
Okay. All right, what you got, Rob?
I think the game is going to be close. I think Eric Bieniemy bounces back with a much better game plan. I think the defense continues to play great the way they've been playing again, despite the score last week. They did play well. I have Commanders winning this 28-24.
And I'll stay consistent like I did on Eagles Elite last night, even though the Eagle contingent laughed, but we're here. So I got the Commanders winning 24-21. Joey Slye kicks a field goal, and we get back on the plane on a 30-minute plane ride back to DC with a W. So
I think it's interesting that all 3 of you guys had us scoring less than 25 points. I think that's interesting. You know, I think it's interesting. I think we would say New England has a good defense. I don't think the Vikings defense is really that good. So I'm not even going to. And I think the Bucks have a really good defense. They just didn't have an answer for Swole Batman or Swifty, right? I mean, I think that sometimes when you look at stats, you forget about what happens on the field. This run game the last 2 weeks has been very dynamic. It's been the catalyst, for us moving in the right direction. We didn't have that with Miles Sanders as much. Sanders could have good games, but he couldn't put them together back to back. He would tweak a knee, hurt a toe, stub a heel, break his nail, or hurt his pinky. Something would happen, right? And he just, just throughout his career, not just one season, but throughout his career. Finally had a 1,000-yard year last year, but Swift's going to hit that, and Swift's going to be better. Swift averaged 8.1 yards a carry on, I think it was 16 or 18 carries last week against a Tampa Bay defense who doesn't let people run up the middle, and we ran straight up the middle on them because that offensive line is very good too.
I'm gonna retort to that because that's very interesting that you said it with Swift, and people don't. I think some people overlook how good the Washington on the Commanders defense is, and they are good against the run. They've been good against the run all year, and that's something that's going to probably be very, very interesting because of how dynamic Swift has been the last few games. So that's another storyline you could look at. How effective will the Eagles be able to run the ball against a Commanders defense that has been really good against the run this year?
But I will tell you don't have to worry about it because Swift is not going to get more than 18 carries. And when we get in the goal line, we're going to put the smallest back on the team in the game and expect him to push the ball in the goal line. So you don't have to worry about more than about 16 to 18 carries from Swift. Definitely.
Yeah. And hopefully our defense can shake it off and contain Swift.
Don't start.
Hey, why not? You know what? Because why not? That's what we do here, Rob. We don't necessarily we don't rock the boat. We kind of tilt it, but hey, we can only have this reference twice a year, so hey, why not? Yeah, we'll have the same thing in 4 weeks from now. So
We rock the boat. We turn the boat over, put holes in it, all that. That's what we do on Wednesdays.
yeah, So yeah, so we'll conclude episode 65 tonight. So we'll go around the horn. Social media, final thoughts, anything what you got going on, plug away. Cool, what you got? I'm gonna give you the floor for a minute.
Take my breath first. All right. Monday nights,
Yeah.
6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monarchs of Wrestling. That's on playcallersportstalk.com/live, or you can look it up on YouTube. Search at Real Play Callers. Tuesday nights, same channel, NFL Matchup Madness. Couch Coach and Martin, when he decides that he might want to shoot them videos or slide through, Martin sometimes shows up discussing the Commanders. Basically, it's an interactive show where we talk teams. We do the primetime matchup this year. The rest of the matchups, we have videos sent. We load them up, so you're able to check those out on the page, whenever you want to check them out. If you want to go back and see what somebody thought it's going to happen in week 3 and week 7, they're there for you. Receipts are all there. Wednesday nights,
Cool.
NFL.
I'll get with you after about that because I'm
Yes, sir.
lost. I'm lost in the shuffle, bro.
Yes, sir.
Lost in the sauce.
On Wednesdays, Eagles Elite Podcast. That's youtube.com/@Eagles Elite Podcast. That's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All things Philadelphia Eagles. And then, we slide in a little bit of the NFC East. Sometimes it's love, sometimes it's hate, sometimes it's just factual. It all depends on how we feeling that week, just to be honest, Thursday, Birds Deep, that's also going to be shown on the Eagles Elite channel. So same place as Wednesday night, and that's at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time or Standard Time, however you want to say it. And then Friday nights, back-to-back. First on Fridays at 7:30, Play Caller Sports Talk Live. That's on playcallersportstalk.com/live, of course. And after that, at 9 p.m., the NFL Gridiron Flex. A little different spin. What we do mostly on there is we talk some of the things like we were doing today, breaking down actual different storylines within the matchups and not just who's going to win, who's going to lose. Everybody does it everywhere, and nobody cares to see another show about that. So it's a little different spin. Saturday nights with my man Couch Coach and maybe Martin again. We'll know. We'll see. Maybe Martin. The NFC Beast. Right?
I'll be there. I'll be there.
All 4 teams represented: Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, and Giants. And this is one of the few times you'll hear me call everybody by the actual name. But gotta do it right when you're doing it. Then if we slide back to Fridays, last day here, guys. I know y'all getting tired of hearing me talk. At www.wdjyfm.com. We do a recorded radio show, so that'll be tomorrow morning, where we're just talking about what's happening in the world of sports for basketball and football. We do have a little bit of an Atlanta-centric edge to it because it is a show for the Atlanta area, but we talk, some national things, talk college football there as well. So, hey, a lot of places, man. I'm working. I'm trying to make this thing happen, trying to get these subs and views up. So if y'all want to help me, even though I'm a little bit jerky times, hey, come on through.
What you got, Martin?
All right. Since Cool did a whole monologue of Saturday Night Live for me. So,
Oh my God, I got teasing.
Right, bro. I'm good with it. You can find me on YouTube, Limewire Sports Media. I do have 2 shows. One is my Commanders, The Aftermath. There's always a recap on Mondays. Might be moving the show to Wednesdays. Depends what's going on. It's called The Commanders, The Aftermath. We always recap the game that's Sunday or Thursday, whatever the case might be for the Commanders. Any Commanders fan, Couch, you're always welcome. I forgot what my man name right here. Rob, you're more than welcome to join me also on Monday nights, if you're not having anything to do. And on Tuesday nights, you can find me represent my Miami Hurricanes, Canes on the Daily, Cool. that's why we kind of like cool because we're a Miami Hurricane fan.
I gotta get back on there. We might slightly be back. Slightly.
Yeah, you're slightly, So, and then on Saturdays you can find me on the College Football Showdown. Talking, predicting all these college football topics, and everything like that. Also, you can find me supporting Coach Couch on his channel, Cool, with the NFC Beast, and on his channel. So therefore, I'm gonna do right, get myself. I've been doing a lot of, and also, if y'all had a chance, check out Regal's Rags. I do. I'm a writer, contributor for Regal's Rags, writing everything about the Commanders. So definitely, if y'all want to check me out on Twitter, you can find me on Limewire Sports 1 on Twitter, and also I have another Twitter channel is The Writer's Poet, and also on Instagram. Whew. So yeah, and Facebook by Martin Pounds or Livewire, either one. You can find me.
All right, Rob, what you got?
Y'all already know where you can find me, FNC Pod on Twitter, Football and Show Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Every Wednesday, most Wednesdays, I got Cruise Island. This week I was a day late. I uploaded it right before we hopped on here, so go check that out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, I do See You Sunday over with our network guys on Off the Ball Network. So if you're not doing anything before all of college football kicks off, go check us out there. We just released our network rankings, so definitely go check those out. Mondays, we do Overreaction Mondays. So I'm not as busy as Cool, but I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to be like Cool when I grow up,
Yeah.
You don't want it, man. You don't want it. Trust me.
Shoot. I know, man. I took a break this year. I'm only a couple days a week now. But yeah, so follow my podcast, Couch Coach Live, Wednesdays, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, social media, Couch Coach Live, here, Commanders in the chat, every Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Also, NFC Beast with my guys, Cool, Doug, with Big Time Doug, Wise, Martin, and boy Sam Shady. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Check us out. It's on my Twitter page, Couch Coach Live. Then also check me out on Matchup
Madness.
Matchup Madness. I don't know why I was going to say March Madness. I'm like, no, it's Matchup Madness on Tuesdays. You probably only going to catch me live but this week because we don't have any primetime games. But definitely check out Play Callers. Go under the playlist. You'll see, anything you see watch Commanders could be me or Martin. We'll get you all ready for that as well. And some special news, a special announcement for next week. Obviously, we know that next week, this time next week, we should have a comfortable lead over the Chicago Bears in the third quarter. But we don't. Hey, let's not put the cart before the horse. But me and Rob will be back. We'll be back live at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time next Thursday as we do a live stream for our Thursday night matchup against the Chicago Bears. It is a Monster of the Midway coming to FedEx. So we'll be here live 8 o'clock. Just have some fun with us. We ain't going to be like, oh gosh, Justin Field, he lose the pocket. He goes left, he goes right. No, we just going to be two guys talking football. We just got to have a good old time. So it's gonna be fun. Sure. It's gonna be fun for sure.
It was fun last year.
It was so fun, so much fun. Yeah, even though the game was boring,
the Eagles games and it was fun too. So yeah.
Even though the game was boring, but we had fun. That was the beauty about it.
I'll definitely be there. Okay. So yeah, I was thinking about doing a play-by-play for Thursday, but since y'all doing one, I'll come and join y'all on y'all's.
Okay, for sure. We'll leave some room on the couch for you.
Hey,
let's bring some soda or something. What I'm saying?
I got you.
Bring a little something. You ain't gotta bring the food or nothing. Bring us a plate.
You gotta tell my bro, man. Tell him you gotta bring some sandwiches, man.
Some sandwiches on the fifth floor.
Right, wait. For sure. So, man, this has been episode 65 of Commanders in the Chat. Great night once again. So much spirit advanced. That's what happens when you have a divisional rivalry. This is a rivalry like no other, especially when the NFC East is here. Everybody bring the energy. We here. Definitely appreciate you, Martin, for coming on. Also cool always. Since the inception of Commands in the Chat, you always just blessed us with your presence on our Eagles matchup. So we always appreciate that.
Man.
For sure. And the same thing for you. You know, I definitely appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on Eagles in the Eagles Elite in the other platforms as well, talk about the Commanders. So for sure. So catch you guys. You know, look forward to this game on Sunday. And 4 weeks from now, let's do it all over again. You know, as you guys, as the Eagles come back to FedEx.
And
so
I'll be on that. I'll be at that game too.
Oh yeah. And that's a B-Day weekend too. So I might pull up. I don't know.
I don't know.
With nothing but Eagles stuff on.
I might have
Eagles down to the socks.
I might have to
with some black and green shoes on.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to call up there to Josh Harris and tell him to put no fly zone out there on the Eagles.
Hey, you can tell them to put it.
Yeah.
We don't follow
and before we step out, we definitely gotta give a huge shout out to our guy, Super Bowl 26 baby, Rob. You know, happy early birthday, brother. And
happy birthday, bro.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And of course, you're gonna get that dub over Colorado, so we ain't even got to say that out
at least
loud.
it's early. Get it out the way early.
Get that dub right.
Yeah.
Get that dub against Colorado.
I'm gonna tell y'all like Coach Prime said, you better get him this year.
Yes, sir.
Well, they'll be in the Big 12. They'll be in the Big 12 next year.
But when
they'll be in the Big 12
and running back.
Shoot, Rob will be playing in the big house next year, probably with USC. You probably be playing Michigan in November. They're gonna be playing the snowstorm.
Next year, Michigan comes here, so I might. Michigan fan.
No.
I might.
Michigan coming to the Michigan coming to the Coliseum.
Hey, Mark, we cheated. We got SMU, Stanford, and Cal. We cheated.
Yeah, we cheated.
Right. Oh gosh.
We might slide Oregon and Oregon State and Washington State in
I can have them.
I'm cool with it. You know,
they'd be lucky to go there. It's either that or the Mountain West for them.
Yeah. And you know, Deion might be kicking Kamani McClain off the team if he keeps showing out, boy. So, you know, Deion flipped him from the U. So, hey,
come to Carolina. Come to UNC.
My thing is, if you went and played for Coach Prime, you don't even need to come to Miami. Go somewhere else, because
I know, right?
You ain't gonna like it there.
If you can't make it there,
yeah. Because you think Deion's strict. You ain't play for Mario Cristobal yet.
Right. Yeah, right. You don't even want to come to Miami. If you can't make it with Deion, don't come to Miami, bro. I'm trying to help you.
Right. But hey, man. So this was Bowl episode 65, man. We'll catch you guys on our live episode next Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we are out. We'll catch you guys next week.